This is a brand new Wahoo Elemnt Bolt. Not the company's first bike computer, but launched in 2017, the Bolt, thanks to its ease of use, reliability and easy customization, has become a really popular GPS bike computer. In this video, I'll go through the changes and share my first ride impressions ahead of a more in-depth and thorough review. Wahoo does packaging very well, clean and minimal waste. An aero out front mount is included. The Bolt was the first and still the only bike computer that gives any thought to aerodynamics. There's also a stem and handlebar mount, and micro USB has been replaced by USB-C, and lastly some very simple instructions, but the Bolt is so easy to use you don't really need them. I'll go through a setup process later in this video. So what's new and different then? Well, the most obvious change is the new black case design over the old grey design. But the button layout is the same, 3 on the front, 2 on the right hand side, and a power menu button on the left hand side. So if you're familiar with the old Bolt, you'll feel right at home here. Turn it over, there's the same quarter turn mount and the same aero design with the out front mount gives a nice smooth seamless profile on the front of your bike. As mentioned, there's now a USB-C port rather than USB micro, and it's IPX7 waterproofed as well. That USB-C port gives faster charging, and the battery run time has been improved from 12 hours up to 15 hours. I've not yet tested that to the max, but my previous experience with the old Bolt was very good and the battery life always lived up to its claim, so hopefully this one will be the same. But the star of the show is a brand new high contrast colour screen, which at first doesn't sound like a big difference compared to the old one, but after using it for a few days and going back to the old one, it is a nice thing to have and it is a joy to use. It's really sharp, the clarity is fantastic, and it's much easier to read the data at a glance when you ride along the road at high speed. It's just a much nicer, more modern feeling screen. Now personally, I've never been too bothered about a colour screen on a GPS bike computer. I'm more interested in battery life, runtime, reliability and other factors than a nice glossy colourful screen. And a downside to a colour screen is a potential impact on battery life, although the battery life has been improved. Whether it's a bigger battery or more efficient software, I don't know. But it's a nice implementation. They haven't gone overboard with the colour, which could have been a temptation to use it sparingly. But the biggest difference the colour has is on the mapping page when you're following routes. Bigger roads, main roads, much easier to spot from smaller country lanes. So that's a really useful addition of the colour on the mapping page. It is a bit of a shame there's such a large bezel around the edge of the screen. It's not an edge-to-edge screen like in some smartphones, but most bike computers use a smaller screen than the actual casing. And you'll see at the top we have the same distinctive LEDs as the previous Bolt and other Wahoo Elemnt computers, and the 3 large buttons at the bottom. The user interface is the same as the old Bolt and really easy to use, and also entirely customizable through the smartphone app. Out of the box, it works really well. You've got your main data page, which you can zoom into and zoom out of, which I really like. And you can add other sensors like heart rate, cadence and power, and have extra fields pop up as you need. Then you press that button and you have your climbing data page, and then again for your navigation mapping page. So far it all sounds very familiar to the old Bolt, but there's a big boost in the navigation features on this brand new Bolt. Wahoo has brought its smart navigation over from a bigger Roam, so the Bolt now lets you do various cool things without having to use your smartphone. You can route back to the start, retrace a previous ride and choose a safe location to ride to. You can also choose a surface as well and adjust the route planning based on the bike you're riding, a gravel bike, a mountain bike or a road bike. That's a feature I haven't used extensively yet, but I will do for the full review coming very soon. The navigation in terms of following a pre-planned route on the previous Bolt was very good in my experience. The one issue though was if you went off that pre-planned route because you're exploring, because the road was closed, it was actually a gravel route, the Wahoo Elemnt Bolt wouldn't reroute you onto a better road. But now the Bolt will adapt your route and reroute you based on that detour you're forced to take or you want to take because you're exploring. So a really useful feature. And so far, based on limited testing, it seemed to work well. The other day I was following a route, got to a T-junction, instead of following the route going left, I turned right, and very quickly the map on the Bolt updated to reflect the change. Like the previous Bolt, there's a row of LEDs on the top, and you can customize this based on speed, heart rate, power, use of a turn-by-turn or Strava live segment, so you can customize it to suit your requirements. I use it for speed, and it tells you if you're below or above your average speed, and that's a really good kind of nudge in the ribs to tell you to get a move on, push hard on the pedals, and keep your average speed up. I've only had a handful of rides with a new Bolt so far, but first impressions are that it's easy and intuitive to use, just like the old Bolt. Setup time from the box to the handlebar to the open road is very short. It's not complex at all, and most people, even the non-tech gadget people, can get their heads around this computer very easily. The main buttons are now slightly raised and a bit easier to press than the old buttons, more tactile, easy to use with gloves or without gloves, and hopefully less chance of dirt gathering in them like on my old Bolt, as you can see in this side-by-side comparison. The actual speed of the computer, move around the menus, feels about the same as the old Bolt, so it doesn't feel any quicker in use. I've not yet extensively tested the battery life, but I was always impressed with the old Bolt. On some very long all-day rides, it always delivered that claimed 12-hour battery life, so I have no doubt this new one will deliver that 15-hour battery life, but full testing will reveal whether that is the case or not. The Bolt has never been the most feature-rich computer either. The rival Garmin Edge 530 costs about the same, offers a lot more data if you want to really geek out on your data, and more navigation features as well. But it offers enough features that work for me, and I know they work for lots of other people. And I take the simplicity, that intuitive interface over many more features, unless you want to really dive into metrics in performance or want really advanced navigation features, which this one doesn't really offer, although changes do make it more useful in the real world. This new Bolt is available now and costs £250, about the same price as that Garmin Edge 530 I mentioned earlier, which offers a lot more features, a bigger screen and a claimed longer battery life. But many of us know that Garmin doesn't have the best reliability track record, and many people, myself included, have switched from Garmin to Wahoo for that very reason. The Bolt is also only £50 cheaper than the Roam, with its bigger colour screen and longer battery life, and some of you might make a case for the Roam being worth the extra spend over the Bolt, depending on your point of view. It might suggest an update to the Roam is coming in the future, given how many of the features the Bolt now takes from the Roam in a smaller package. So time will tell on that one. Those are my first impressions then, after a few days of riding. But are the changes enough reason to upgrade from the old Bolt? Well, I'm not so sure, to be honest. I think the changes are nice, but they're not groundbreaking. The screen is nicer to use, it looks better, USB-C is nice to have, longer battery life is definitely a good thing, and the improved navigation is really nice to use. But are there enough reasons to upgrade from the old Bolt? Well, only you can decide. Let me know what you think down below. The new Bolt is available to buy now, and I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check it out or buy one for yourself. And stay tuned for that full review coming very soon. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching.